Okay, so now we're having this question here, question 3. In 3.1, we are asked without the use of calculator to find the value of this two sums here, right? The difference of these two sums. So for us to do this, I want us to note something. We are having the sum 10 y is equals to 3, so it's 1 over y minus 2, right? And then minus the sum at the top is 10, y is equals to 3, and it's 1 over y minus 1, right? So for us to solve this, we can identify the sum or the entire number of terms for this portion here, right? We can just identify all of them because we are starting at y is equals to 3 and ending at 10, right? So it's not really a lot of terms, so we can just write down all of them. And the same applies with this part here. We can just write down all the terms and subtract with these ones here, right? So let's start that process. So what you're going to do is you're just going to say let's first start by solving this one here, right? And just identify all the terms that it has. So we have the sum of 10 y is equals to 3, 1 over y minus 2, right? So when y is equals to 3, we have 1 over 3 minus 2, right, which is equals to 1 over 1. When y is equals to 4, we have 1 over 4 minus 2, which is equals to 1 over 2. When y is equals to 5, we have 1 over 5 minus 2, which is equals to 1 over 3. So if you can check, even if we increase y is equals to 6, so it's 1 over 1, it's 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 3. So basically it's just going to go up until, let's just write everything so that you can see. So it's 1 over 6 minus 2, which is just going to be 1 over 4, right? Y is equals to 7, it's going to be 1 over 7 minus 2, which is 1 over 5. And y is equals to 8, so it's going to be 1 over 8 minus 2, which is 1 over 6. Y is equals to 9, 1 over 9 minus 2 is equals to 1 over 7. And y is equals to 10, which is 1 over 10 minus 2, which is 1 over 8. So we are done. We are done writing all the terms for this first sum, right? This first sum here. So let's just write down all the terms. So I'm just gonna put them inside a bracket, all these terms here. So we have 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 9, right? So these are the terms for the first sum. Let's now find the terms. Oh, sorry, it's 1 over 8, ends at 1 over 8. Let me correct myself here. So it's 1 over 8, right? This is the last one. Cool. So these are the terms rather for the first sum. So now let's find the terms for the second sum. So the second sum, it also has 10, so y starts at 3 and it's 1 over y minus 1, right? So when y is equals to 3, we have 1 over 3 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 2. When y is equals to 4, we have 1 over 4 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 3. When y is equals to 5, we have 1 over 5 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 4. Y is equals to 6, we have 1 over 6 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 5. Y is equals to 7, we have 1 over 7 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 6. Y is equals to 8. We have 1 over 8 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 7. Y is equals to 9 is equals to 1 over 9 minus 1 equals to 1 over 8. Y is equals to 10. We have 1 over 10 minus 1 is equals to 1 over 9. So to write all these, we have 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 9. So these are the terms for this sum here. Remember, the first sum that we got, we're going to subtract with this second sum. So this is what it means. Remember, we are saying the first sum of 10 y is equals to 3 and then 1 over y minus 1. We are subtracting this sum. Let me put different color. Subtracting it with this second sum, 10 at the top, y is equals to 3, 1 over y. Okay, sorry, this is actually 2. And then this is minus 1, right? So we are subtracting these two sums. So we already identified that all the terms from y is equals to 3 up until 10, right? For this part here and also for this one here. So let me write for these ones here. We found 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 8. So these are all the terms that we found. And then it subtracts these terms here for this sum here. So it's started at 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 9, right? Cool. So what I need you to look at here in this problem is that because we are subtracting this and this, right? So this where you see numbers that are common, you know very well that they are going to disappear because they are going to subtract each other. So this 1 over 2 will subtract this 1 over 2, so they go away. This 1 over 3 will subtract this 1 over 3, so they go away. 1 over 4 will subtract this 1 over 4, so they go away. And then 1 over 5 will subtract this 1 over 5, so they also go away. We have 1 over 6 subtracting 1 over 6, cancel out. 1 over 7 subtracting 1 over 7, so you also cancel out. 1 over 8 subtracting this 1 over 8, so you cancel out. So what remains? What remains is this 1 over 1, right? Subtracted by 1 over 9, right? This 1 over 9 here. So we're just going to separate these two here to find a final answer of these problems. So it's just going to be 1 over 1 minus 1 over 9, which should give you an answer of 8 over 9. So this is the solution for this problem here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them down in the comment section below. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click that bell button.